Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some fresh details about the Strawberry update, and this is pretty noteworthy, especially taking into account all the buzz on Twitter, Reddit, and other social media about AI development. Now, there's been a lot of speculation and confusion lately, so let's see if we can clear some of this up. So, a lot of this info is coming from the account I Rule the World MO, which has been pretty active in sharing updates, which somehow proved to be startlingly true. So, what I'm going to try and do here is try and keep things as factual as possible and not punt too much hype. In other words, just a small grain of salt with everything, right? Diving in, recently this account tweeted about a ChatGPT 4.0 update, and there's been some chatter that might tie into this. Diego AI also mentioned that ChatGPT 4.0 got an unexpected update, and I Rule the World MO hinted at a future update to ChatGPT 4.0. But I don't think this is the one they specifically meant. It seems more like that OpenAI rolled out something in response to recent benchmarks where Google and Claude 3.5 Sonnet have been leading in answering human requests and reasoning. Now, after some quick tests with ChatGPT 4.0, and while some say it's slightly better, there are still some quirks. For example here, ChatGPT was asked to count the L's in Lollapalooza, and this it got wrong. This doesn't mean that the model is lacking, but it might just be some versions haven't been updated, or maybe the update hasn't rolled out to all regions. Now, if you will recall, people are questioning whether the model can accurately count letters, and there's speculation if this is related to the name Project Strawberry. But honestly, this issue isn't as significant as it's being made out to be. As Sean Ralston explained, it all comes down to how LLMs process text through tokenization, which breaks text into tokens. Basically, these AI models don't see letters like we do. Instead, they break everything down into tokens, which they then use to figure out relationships between words and build a kind of world model. That's why when you ask an AI to count letters in a word, it might struggle. For example, the word strawberry could be split into different tokens like straw and berry, or even st and wberry, depending on how the model handles tokenization in context. Now, this is absolutely true, and it's why folks argue that these models aren't AGI yet. But honestly, it doesn't really matter because you can usually solve these issues with prompt engineering. I mean, if you tweak the prompt, like asking the model to write out each letter and then count them, you'll get the correct answer. So this whole debate about whether the AI can count letters or not isn't really a big deal. Prompt engineering handles it, and that's what we'll be using for more complex tasks anyway. But bringing this back to GPT 4.0, folks, there's been some interesting chatter about the Strawberry account, which shared a GitHub link recently. This happened on Twitter, and many people thought they might drop an open source model, but instead they posted a date. ChatGPT 4.0 large for 2024. Basically, next week. Now, this date is set for Tuesday, which is intriguing because big AI updates from OpenAI usually drop on Tuesdays or Thursdays. And what makes this even more fascinating is a tweet from Jimmy Apples, a well-known and pretty accurate AI insider, where he hinted at something big coming with a juicy tweet referencing Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO. Now, what makes the tweet intriguing is that it stated, "You didn't count Sundar out, did you? You would be to do so." I mean, a little cryptic, but you got to kind of wonder where this is going. Now, if you think about this historically, whenever Google has demoed something impressive, OpenAI often overshadows it with a release just days before. For instance, remember Project Astra? Google's AI agent was really impressive, kind of like ChatGPT 4.0's voice mode. But it got completely outshined by OpenAI's product launch just 2 days earlier. So a lot of folks, including myself, are speculating that we might see a release from OpenAI to steal the spotlight from whatever Google is planning for. Then, given Jimmy Apple's track record with AI leaks, this seems pretty likely. Plus, with Google rolling out various experimental models lately, it wouldn't be surprising if OpenAI tries to one-up them yet again. Now, folks, the big question is, will it be GPT 4.0 large? I mean, if you think about this, the name suggests that GPT 4.0 isn't actually a large model, which implies that the versions we're using might be smaller than we think. So here's where it gets interesting. According to the Strawberry account, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini is the 4 billion parameter model. ChatGPT 4.0 is the 7 billion parameter model. And they're supposedly holding on to a massive 405 billion parameter model that's crushing the competition. I guess this makes sense, folks. ChatGPT 4o Mini being an 8 billion parameter model is believable, especially since it performs well for many tasks and is super cost effective. I mean, we've seen OpenAI consistently stay ahead of both the standard and open models out there, so it's not a stretch to imagine they've managed to get ChatGPT 4o Mini to that level. Now, folks, if ChatGPT 4o is actually a 70 billion parameter model, that would be a game changer because it would mean OpenAI has made some serious breakthroughs, especially when you consider that Llama 3 with 70 billion parameters is already an impressive model. And remember, they're supposedly keeping the large model under wraps because, according to the tweet, their highly quantized goo is dominating the competition. And this lines up with the idea that ChatGPT 4o isn't fully accessible yet, even though a lot of people forget that we don't have access to the complete ChatGPT 4o model. Then don't forget that OpenAI has been talking about exertive development, and if you're wondering why I'm discussing GPT-4o large in a video about Strawberry, well, hang on, it's all going to connect, promise. The O in ChatGPT 4o stands for Omni, and people tend to overlook the fact that a multimodal model can do a lot. I mean, don't forget that technically it can handle tasks like pasting a logo onto an image, playing audio, and more, and you can even design consistent characters that perform different actions. And this is all part of the capabilities we don't yet have access to. This makes me think that maybe OpenAI is gearing up to release these features on Thursday, hopefully. The Strawberry account suggests we only have the 70 billion parameter model, but there's still so much we haven't seen, like audio processing, 3D generation, and advanced image creation. These are all tools that should be part of the GPT-4o series, and I believe it's a much more powerful model than we realize, folks, because considering that Llama 3.1 has 405 billion parameters and is state-of-the-art, it's not far-fetched to think OpenAI could achieve something similar. The idea of a 400 billion parameter model being top tier isn't out of the question at all, especially with Llama's recent release. Now, getting back to the Strawberry update, AI Explained has been hinting at this for a while, and it's related to breaking math benchmarks through reinforcement learning with human feedback rather than just throwing more compute power at the problem. Then there's also a small OpenAI model, SusColumnR, that's using Strawberry technology, and the larger models are expected to drop soon. I talked about SusColumnR some days ago in this video, if you want to catch it later. Now, what I find fascinating is that SusColumnR, which is an 8 billion or 7 billion parameter model, is performing at a state-of-the-art level with its reasoning capabilities. This could be a real breakthrough. I mean, it's managing to solve problems that other models have struggled with, and if this kind of reasoning is scaled up, we could be looking at something close to AGI-level systems that just haven't been fully scaled yet. So the claim that SusColumnR is a tiny open AI model using Strawberry isn't far-fetched. If it were consistently outperforming other models, it would be a massive leap. But from my experience, while it's showing some brilliance, it seems like it's mostly on par with other state-of-the-art models. However, if it's a tiny model that competes with these, that's pretty noteworthy. During tests, the model seemed focused on reasoning through problems in a way that felt different from others, like it was trying to break things down methodically. You can see this in the video I just mentioned before. So this might explain why Sam Altman felt great about a certain level 2 comment, while Ilya Sutskever didn't. If we indeed have a small model reasoning as well as the best out there, scaling it could bring us closer to superintelligence. Keep in mind, Ilya Sutskever recently mentioned that superintelligence is within reach, a bold statement considering he's not one to build hype. If he's saying this, it suggests that what they've been working on at OpenAI shows real promise in achieving this level of intelligence. Now, about the level 2 tweet, folks, this essentially refers to human-level reasoning, which many consider a defining characteristic of AGI. If we look at the levels from 1 to 5, level 5, which involves a system doing the work of an entire organization, leans more towards ASI, artificial superintelligence, as compared to AGI. There's also mention of huge models for voice, video, and safety, with some people speculating about an upcoming larger version of ChatGPT 4o, expected to be a significant leap in capabilities, much like the jump from GPT-3 to GPT-4. Whether or not this happens depends on whether Google manages to surpass OpenAI in public perception. On the safety front, there's talk about GPT Next being ready, and it's clear OpenAI is wrestling with the challenge of making these advanced models safe. Of course, safety is one of the main issues. If this model were to be misused, according to the tweet, it could disrupt the world on an unprecedented scale, especially with its integrated voice, video, and agent capabilities. OpenAI's preparedness framework is key here. They stated that only models with a post-mitigation score of medium or below will be deployed. Anything with high autonomy, persuasion, or potential threats won't be released. I guess this means that future models may be somewhat limited in their capabilities to ensure they stay safe. Overall, folks, it seems likely that Google will release something next week, given that they've been testing frontier models on the chatbot arena for a few weeks now, just like OpenAI did before launching ChatGPT 4.0. I think the Strawberry model is likely a small reasoning engine, which aligns with what we've seen from Reuters. I mean, OpenAI has confirmed that Q-Star is a thing, and Sam Altman has even engaged with this account on Twitter, hinting at it multiple times. I'm convinced OpenAI will respond based on what Google releases. However, the safety concerns surrounding these frontier models might make it difficult for OpenAI to release them due to their advanced capabilities. Probably one way OpenAI could handle this is by requiring a license to operate these powerful models, similar to how certain chemicals require a license to use. This would allow them to track the usage and conversations with these models, ensuring they're only used in controlled environments where they won't pose any danger. Of course, they're not going to make it available to the general public, where individuals could potentially misuse it without consequences. That said, folks, let me know in the comments what you think about all of this, and especially if you have noticed any improvements to ChatGPT 4.0 recently. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one, folks. You all take care.